Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network, I'm Caitlin Walters.
Imagine having more days of perfect weather.
Your home for Goodland High School athletics, Fort Hays Tech Northwest basketball, the Denver Broncos, and the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer and Max Gershon. This is Rocket 1025, KKCI FM, Goodland Colby, an NWKS radio station.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. The proposed Israel-Hamas ceasefire hostage release deal is now the subject of deliberations in Israel. The pact has gone to Israel's Security Cabinet. If the agreement wins Israeli approval, the first captives are supposed to be released on Sunday. In another sign of strengthening ties between Moscow and Tehran, the presidents of Russia and Iran are meeting at the Kremlin for talks. Crackdown on dissent gaining momentum in Russia. 3 attorneys who represented the late opposition leader Alexei Navalny have been sentenced to up to 5 years in prison each. A pending ban on TikTok could affect 170 million Americans who use the video sharing app. The ban scheduled to kick in 2 days, although President Biden says he will not enforce it before he leaves office. On Wall Street, Dow futures 168 points higher. The Nasdaq futures are up 92 points. More details, srnnews.com.
Madame Giselle senses a change in your future.
Is it a promotion?
I see a door opening.
Ooh, to a corner office?
There's a creature. Beady eyes, lots of hair.
Is it my boss, Dave?
No, raccoons everywhere. Your RV door is open, and they're chewing everything.
Not a problem. I'm covered by Progressive. Do you see a bigger paycheck?
Customize your coverage with Progressive's pest damage protection and be prepared for the unexpected. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Pest damage protection available for RVs less than 6 years old. $250 deductible applies to any claim.
Attention American homeowners, you're under attack. Your home and equity could be vulnerable to cyber thieves. There's only one company that completely stops them, and that company is Equity Protect. Equity Protect prevents any attempts to steal your home, equity, and ownership 24/7. Get your free risk report today by texting the word HOME to 94878. That's right, text the word HOME to 94878 to get your free risk report. Keep your equity and legacy safe with Equity Protect.
Rocket 1025.
With your updated forecast, I'm staff meteorologist Paul Trombley from the Weatherology Weather Center. A blend of clouds and sun today with daytime highs approaching 48. Winds out of the north, 15 to 20 miles per hour. Cloudy tonight, slight chance of snow, 15. Partly cloudy skies tomorrow, slight chance of snow, high of 23. Partly cloudy skies Sunday with highs in the low 20s, slight chance for snow showers Monday. Take a look at the extended forecast, 30 Tuesday, 39 Wednesday, and 38 on Thursday. Another look at the short range, high of 48 today. We should dip to 15 tonight, high of 23 tomorrow. A dusting of snow tomorrow. Get up to the minute weather updates from the Weatherology Weather Center. I'm staff meteorologist Paul Trombley on this NWKS radio station. Currently, it's 35 degrees.
Shop can't miss deals going on now during Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. For a limited time, get a free adjustable stand when you buy a DeWalt 12-inch miter saw. That's a $229 value. Plus, save $680 on a Midea 4-piece kitchen appliance suite. Now just $17.96. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 1/13 through 1/24. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. While supplies last. See store or Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
The Farmers State Bank of Oakley has been financing agriculture since the day we opened our doors. Hello, this is Corbin, and we are proud to be your locally owned partner in ag. We invite you to come and visit with us when you need to purchase new or used farm equipment or need any type of agriculture or business loan. We have the knowledge, experience, and financial resources to keep you growing. The Farmers State Bank of Oakley, a tradition of community and agriculture for over 115 years. Member FDIC.
Drive into the new year with incredible deals at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Right now, get a $3,000 total cash allowance on the 24 Chevy Suburban or take home a 25 Chevy Equinox with 2.9% APR financing, plus no payments for 90 days when you finance with GM Financial. Looking for a truck? Get 0% APR on the 24 GMC Sierra 1500 with a 5.3-liter engine for well-qualified buyers and score $3,250 when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Visit Hurl Chevrolet GMC today or shop online at hurlchev.com.
The Burlington Home Store has a yard work center. They're your garden center, everything you need. Home construction and repair, plus a great line of cleaning supplies and appliances for your home. Burlington Home Store, your full-service lumber yard. You'll need hand and power tools, too. They've got them by your windows, storm doors, screens, maybe even a barbecue grill. All at your Burlington Home Store, West Burlington. And the staff knows how to help you, and they will, too, at the Burlington Home Store.
Your livelihood is important to you. You work hard to succeed in your farming operation, crop, livestock, home, vehicles, and special needs. We have you covered. Discounts are available for new business, remodeling, hail-resistive roofing, multi-policy, and many more. Optional coverage endorsements as well for machinery ingestion and equipment breakdown. Umbrella coverage for additional coverage on your home, farm, and auto. See the girls at the insurance agency at 1020 Main in Goodland or call 785-899-5011.
New year, new projects, and new deals at Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware. Start 2025 with a bang by tackling those home improvements. Refresh your space with vibrant Benjamin Moore paint or stock up on storage totes and shelves, perfect for organizing. Lumber prices are down, making it easier to tackle your next big project. Keep warm while you grill year-round with their top-notch grills and smokers from Traeger and Weber. And don't let the snow slow you down. Check out their great selection of snowblowers from Ego and Toro. It's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Goodland and Colby, your partner for a productive new year.
H&R Block has many options to make filing your taxes easy. Our tax pros can help you get your max refund with or without the office visit. Drop in, drop off, or a tax pro can even do your taxes virtually. Send some pics from your phone without leaving home. Just another way Block has your back.
All tax situations are different. Not everyone gets a refund.
Hi, this is Ashley from your locally owned H&R Block. We'll get you every dollar you deserve with or without the office visit.
Drive into the new year with incredible deals at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Right now, get a $3,000 total cash allowance on the 24 Chevy Suburban or take home a 25 Chevy Equinox with 2.9% APR financing, plus no payments for 90 days when you finance with GM Financial. Looking for a truck? Get 0% APR on the 24 GMC Sierra 1500 with a 5.3-liter engine for well-qualified buyers and score $3,250 when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Visit Hurl Chevrolet GMC today or shop online at hurlchev.com.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4!
It's the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
Give me my cane. I'll show you how to play this game.
The region's only local sports talk.
Dynamite drop-in at Broadcast School has really paid off.
Broadcasting on Goodland's Rocket 102.5, simulcasting on Goodland's 730 Gold KLOE.
Guys everywhere.
Discussing it all from the preps.
Touchdown, the Cowboys!
To the pros.
And Timmy back on the track. It's out of here. Bobby Witt Jr. delivers a go-ahead grand slam.
The Blitz is presented by Hurl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank, as well as the Insurance Agency, Farmer State Bank in Oakley, the Cowboy Corner Express, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell.
Let's go to work.
Walker, bad pass, but Sundell still able to get it in traffic. Leans in, lays it in against Jada Williams. Sides launches another three. There it is. Nichols shakes the Sun Devil in the backcourt, going behind the back, ahead to Evans. 3-ball, good. How about that? Samaya breaking ankles. L knocking in a 3. KU's got their biggest lead of the night.
Out into the timeline to Williams, 9 on the shot clock. Williams to Gary, down the baseline, puts it up and down, and then one. He just catapulted, was jettisoned down that left baseline and laid it in.
It's Patterson in the backcourt. Gives to Garcia. Heaves a 40-footer. He hit a 40-footer to win it. He hit a 40-footer to win it. From straight on. Right at the logo.
Don't ever leave the best three-point shooter at the logo. He might win you a basketball game. Got to be careful about that. That happened last night in the Minnesota-Michigan game. Michigan in overtime goes down the floor, ties it with the layup. A couple seconds later, Dawson Garcia from the logo splashes in the 3 to win it for Minnesota last night. A full night of college basketball. Boy, if you like college basketball, last night was your night to watch. There was a ton of games on all over the place. If you like, whether it was women's or men's, a great night for KU and K-State women as they both pick up wins last night. And Nebraska women win. Nebraska men lose at home to Rutgers, which, by the way, Max, get a chance to watch Rutgers play. You got to watch. I knew going in that they had a couple of very talented freshmen, but they probably have behind Cooper Flagg the pick number 2 and pick number 3 in the NBA draft on the same team. That is Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey are unbelievable. Those guys are Ace Bailey's like 6'10". He kind of reminds me of like a Kevin Garnett kind of at that size. And then you've got Dylan Harper, who's just I think he's probably 6'3" or 4 guard. He's got great handles and can finish at the rim. They beat Nebraska last night, and that snapped a 20-game home winning streak for the Huskers. And I'm pretty sure I'm no bracketologist, but I feel pretty confident that Nebraska is not going to make the NCAA tournament after that game. We feel pretty good. I know we're only on January 17th. I get it. And there's still probably a whole half of the basketball season to go. But I didn't have a great feeling about Nebraska men's basketball when this season kind of got going and I saw them play the first couple times. Like, I don't know, there's just something missing. And then all of a sudden they kind of start winning a couple games like, oh, maybe I'm wrong on this. And now I feel like my initial judgment was correct.
Well, maybe you and Nebraska and K-State can play in the NIT.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, maybe happening. I don't know. I did see a post, though, yesterday that from our good friend Ryan Gilbert that Jerome Tang said that yesterday or 2 days ago, it was the best practice that Kansas State has had all year. I wonder what that means.
It means it's going to be a close game on tomorrow. I guarantee it'll be close.
I would put money. What's your nervous level on a scale of 1?
I'm not even remotely thinking about that game. The Chiefs play a playoff game tomorrow, and that's the only sports.
Chiefs rank number 1 and number 2 in Manx Gershon's power rankings of life that he cares about, and then everything else falls underneath that.
100%. But I've been telling you throughout the week that I think tomorrow's game is going to be close between KU and K-State. I don't even care if we would have won against Iowa State. Wouldn't have mattered. It's going to be a close game just because K-State has nothing to lose in this game. They're just fighting for this is the biggest game they play is against KU for the rest of the year now. So they're going to give it all they have. And KU needs a win too. They can't afford this loss. So, it's going to be close. I know it would be close.
I feel like playing at the Fog, it's different. If this was in Manhattan, I would say, yes, this is going to be a close game, and who knows, you might get beat. But because it is in Allen Fieldhouse, I feel very confident that KU is going to get this done. And probably
I think they'll get it done. I think they'll get it done too. But I
think they're going to win by a pretty decent average.
We'll see.
I'll tell you this. I'll be stunned. I'll put the word stunned on it if Kansas State wins this weekend. I'll be stunned.
I'll be disappointed.
I know you'll be disappointed, but I will be stunned.
I have this pessimistic outlook on KU basketball right now, so it's in my mind that there's a chance, but I think that's a very fair statement that you'd be stunned if KU doesn't win this game on Saturday, and I think I would be too because of how bad K-State's played this year.
I would be less stunned if they beat Iowa State, because to me it would be set up for a letdown. But because you got beat on the road at Iowa State, you've kind of been slipping here. You come home, crowd's behind you.
I'd love nothing more than that.
Going to beat K-State by 10+ points.
Yeah, I'd love nothing more than that, like kind of what we saw at UCF. That'd be fun if we just scored 99 again and just blew out K-State. It'd be fun.
Could happen.
I'd enjoy
Could
it.
happen. Don't know. But anyway, great night of college basketball last night. K-State women, 62-47. I don't think we talk about them enough. They are fantastic this year. Number 11 in the nation. They beat Arizona. Serena Sundell, 16 points. I mean, every time that K-State plays, they have a player surpass like 1,500 points or, Aoki. I mean, they've been there for so long that they're setting all these records. They are cashing in on the fact that a lot of girls been able to stick around through maybe it's a redshirt year, a COVID year, maybe it's a JUCO year, whatever. They've really cashed in on that and had a lot of success this year. And Kansas State looking very, very good. KU women, very dominant win over Arizona State, 75-52 last night. And like I mentioned, Nebraska women did beat Iowa in overtime. That was an interesting game last night. I did watch a little bit of that. Britt Prince, freshman, I remember that name. She's a superstar in the making for Nebraska women. And like I said, Rutgers snapping Nebraska's 20-game home winning streak, 85-82. And I don't know. I think Nebraska's backs are against the wall. I think if they don't win this weekend at Maryland, which I think is a very slim chance that they do that, I'm not liking their chances of making the NCAA tournament. Even though I saw some people say that they're still in the tournament as an 11 seed, I just don't see it happening. Anyway, we got lots to get to today. We got to get to local sports and talk some basketball and wrestling coming up in our final segment. Hopefully, Leighton Kier is going to make it into the studio. It was just kind of one of those deals. I saw Leighton working out in the weight room. I popped in to say hi. Always a happy guy and always nice enough to stop and visit. He was working out, getting the lift in, and I just said something. Why don't you stop in on Friday? He goes, yeah, I'll do that. And so I hope he'll show up. I don't even have his number to text him or remind him. So I hope Leighton shows up today. If not, we'll go 3 consecutive days without a guest. And people are like, gosh, for enough of Max and Ross this week. We need the weekend. And speaking of the weekend, it is going to be a chilly one. Right now, 33 degrees on our way to a high of 48 for this Friday, but it is going to be cold. Temperatures not even getting above freezing. And when you add in the wind, possibly in some spots, a dusting of snow, it's going to be very, very cold this weekend. So I do not expect a lot of people out and about this weekend. Now, like I said, I don't think we're going to see like we saw a few weeks ago with all the ice. I don't think we're going to see a lot of that. It's just going to be plain cold. And when you add cold temperatures with 30 to 40 mile per hour winds, whoo, that will make your hair stand up on the back of your neck.
Yeah, I'm not leaving.
I just hope you have food. That's my biggest concern.
I'm not leaving. There's just no chance I'm leaving.
I bet Paul Heskett's going to show up with like a whole bunch of food and drop it off at your door.
And hopefully some more wooden chairs. I have like 6 wooden chairs in my living room that I don't have room for.
Yes.
From Paul.
What kind? Like just stools?
Like bar stools. They just sit there. I don't have a ball. I don't have a.
Well, I guess if you get cold, you can start a bonfire at least.
That's true. I could use it as like materials to start a fire or something. But yeah, no, I've been in Florida for 2 years. I'm not ready for what's about to happen. I'm gonna just cuddle up and watch some football this weekend.
I tell you, I see you're wearing a short sleeve polo today, and I'm like, every day is like quarter zip day for me or something long sleeve.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Well, it wasn't bad this morning. I didn't even have to de-ice my car.
Yeah.
Which is an awesome feeling when you walk outside and you're like, oh, I don't even have to de-ice my car. That's a great feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, lots to get to here on a Friday show. As always, FNB Bank text line is open at 785-899-2222. Thank you. Leighton is going to be here today. His dad texted me and said he'll be there.
Awesome. Well, there we go.
Greg, thank you, Greg. We appreciate your service. And yes, look forward to visiting with Leighton Kier. Once again, former Goodland Cowboy and now tight end at KU, number 87 in your playbooks. But he will be joining us, and he's a fantastic conversation. Look forward to him talking about playing his first year with Lance Leipold, the transition from D2 to D1, and what he expects in year 2. We'll get to all that with Leighton, so look forward to him coming in the studio here in about 10 to 15 minutes, which gives us enough time to look ahead to this weekend where we have the divisional round, the NFL divisional round, where you have a great slate of NFL games. Is this the best weekend in professional football? People would say it is, maybe behind the Super Bowl. I think
it's got to be, right?
I mean, it's really good because you get to watch all 4 games in their entirety. Because they're right next to one another. So you kick things off Saturday afternoon at 3:30 Central, 2:30 Mountain Time on ESPN or 100.3 The Ride. You've got Kansas City hosting the Houston Texans, which we'll see. That's the game. We'll come back and talk about this more. Then following that, that's on Fox at 6 o'clock. 6 Mountain, 7 Central. You've got the Lions hosting the Commanders. Sunday rolls around, and then you've got at what is 2 o'clock Central, 1 o'clock Mountain Time, LA at Philadelphia, and then Baltimore at Buffalo. The big night, your evening capper, that's at 5:30 Central, 4:30 Mountain Time on CBS.
Sunday has the chance to be the best day of football in a playoff sense.
As in most competitive games, yes, right?
Since the Chiefs-Bills divisional round, since the 2021 playoff, that divisional round weekend. I mean, these are 4 fantastic football games. They really are. I think all of them are. There's not one that I'm looking at and I'm like, this is going to be domination by any means. There really isn't. I would say I'd feel most confident in the Chiefs versus the Texans, just because that's where I think all the teams are right now. But I mean, Bills Ravens is just. I hope and pray that it lives up to the hype, because the hype around this game is fantastic and it has the chance to be just unreal. These are the 2 quarterbacks with the most pressure, the hungriest for a win, the hungriest for everything, and they're going to have to play each other to have the right to go to the AFC Championship. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
Well, let's just start first and foremost with Chiefs and Houston. So Kansas City, Houston kicking things off on Saturday. I mean, if you're Kansas City, you got to feel. How do you feel after watching Houston play and getting a couple of pick sixes against the Chargers and kind of making them look a little bit ridiculous? How do they make you feel as a Chiefs fan? Does that impact any way you look at this game, or are you feeling very confident right now? The line, Kansas City 8.5-point favorites.
8.5 is crazy when you've watched the Chiefs all year. I think that's too much.
Okay.
Look, I'd love to.
Under 2, by the way, is the lowest of all 4 games at 41.5, which is nuts to me too.
Well, I mean, the Chiefs haven't scored 30 points at all this year.
I guess that's true.
So, I mean, who knows?
I'm
but
still stuck in 2019, 2020.
I know, and it's different, but who knows? It would totally not surprise me if the Chiefs go out there and do score 30 and they have the best offensive performance of the year. It's like, oh, well, where has this been? Because it's just how Andy Reid and the Chiefs and Mahomes and Kelsey, they operate in the playoffs. They just get better when the lights shine the brightest. If you're going by, the last 4 or 5 years of what you've seen from Kansas City. But, I think going back to the Texans defense, I think that's definitely showing, and it's been a strong suit for them for most of the year. And they needed that because there's so many injuries on this offense. I mean, even Joe Mixon is banged up for them now. So they needed the defense to come up with those turnovers. And am I worried about the Chiefs throwing 4 interceptions in a playoff game? Not really. I don't think that's a realistic
I'd be stunned if that happened.
Yeah, I think everyone would be stunned if that happened. But and also a lot of those were just kind of, you can't even blame 4 on Herbert. You can blame 2 or maybe 3, but there was 1 or 2 that went through a receiver's hand or something like that. And
he does not. Herbert does not have the type of wide receiver core that he needs to be successful. He had a better one in previous years.
Yes, and I think, but I'm so excited to see DeAndre Hopkins play in a meaningful football game again. This guy he knows this is his last chance to get a Super Bowl. He really, I mean, realistically, this is probably his last chance to get a Super Bowl and add to his already fantastic resume. And I think you're going to see some fountain of youth from him, and of course Travis Kelce again, because who knows what's going to happen after this year with Trav. And I feel confident in saying that I think Trav is going to look a lot different than he did in the regular season. I think he's going to play a lot more energy, have a lot more big plays, and I'm excited to see those two out on the field again. But yeah, it feels like forever since we've seen the Chiefs play football, because it's been 25, 28 days since Mahomes and Kelsey played after that stretch of 3 games in 10 days. But again, if there was any team in the National Football League that you would trust to just like that, just be right into football shape again, it's Mahomes, Kelsey, and the Kansas City Chiefs that have that veteran presence on offense.
Yeah, I am intrigued to see how Kansas City looks. Does it take a quarter or so to shake off a little bit of rust? I don't know. I feel like the Chiefs defense is going to keep this game pretty low scoring. I don't think they're going to let Houston really get going defensively or offensively. And so if the Chiefs do need a quarter to kind of get that diesel motor running, my guess is it'll be fine. And I am intrigued. I've heard a lot of Chiefs fans say, we're not going to run the football. We're only going to throw it the whole postseason. I'm going to really be intrigued to watch that, because I still think you got to have some semblance of a running game. And Kareem Hunt, I thought, has ran the ball decent at times
Yeah.
this year, despite the offensive line being in a tough spot. And this is a good pass rush, too. That's another thing to watch. It's a good pass rush that they're facing with Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter. This is a good pass rush that this Chiefs O-line is facing. So Mahomes may have to do some with his legs. And once again, he's all rested up, at least physically. I don't know about mentally. Remember, he did have his third child during this time. And, that can always be a challenging time to get rest.
I think they're going to do a lot of what they did against the Texans. Quick, get the ball out quick. I think is what's going to be the key to this game. 5-yard gains, little screens to Xavier Worthy, quick slants to Hollywood. I think that's going to be a big thing. But the thing is also the Texans are one of 2 teams that have seen this offense really at full strength minus Rashee Rice. The Texans and the Steelers are really the only teams because they got to see Hollywood, which is very interesting to see how that plays out and what their game plan will be defensively for him. But I'm just excited to see because it feels like now that Hollywood's back, we were talking when the Texas game and the Steelers game, it really opened up the offense to a level we hadn't seen this year. And we've only seen it twice. And now you have the playoffs with Andy calling plays and all this time that they've had. Andy Reid is the best coach ever statistically coming off of a bye. And he's had all this time to game plan. And all of it is pointing towards the Chiefs, being a pretty confident favorite, like you said, 8.5 points. But it's going to come down to, I think, turnovers. If the Chiefs can force 2 turnovers from C.J. Stroud again, they're going to have a comfortable win.
Shout out Brian on Facebook says Chiefs have gone a franchise record 7 straight games without turning the ball over. Thank you, Brian, for that great stat. Here's the thing. If the Chiefs can duplicate what they did in their last game with Mahomes at quarterback, I don't know which game that was, trying to think, but it really looked like as if before the Broncos game, they were really the Steelers game. They were really firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if they can duplicate that, and if that's the Chiefs team we're going to see, 3 Super Bowls are certainly within reach, very much so in reach.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. So you got probably what, Kansas City winning, but not covering the 8.5.
No, I do.
Oh, you do feel confident they'll cover the 8.5.
Yeah, I do.
And they're going to go over 41.5 or stay under that.
41. I have them just under. I think I have 27-12. Is the score I have.
4 field goals from Fairbairn.
Yeah, well, it could happen a couple different ways. You could have touchdown, there's a couple ways you can get 12, 13, somewhere in that range. I see it happening. So yeah, I think it'll be it'll be 7-7 to start the game. It'll be a little slow in the first, I think, but I'm confident. I'm confident that the Chiefs, everything I've seen from the Chiefs the last 5 years has shown me I shouldn't be worried about this game, but I still am, just because that's how a sports fan operates.
I think one thing.
Told you I'm gonna make it good TV. It's just what I do. It's just what I do. You've never seen me win a blowout. I just keep it real close to the end.
Well, I'm telling you, it's going to be close to the end here. I'm thinking Kansas City probably gets it done by a field goal. Maybe it's a touchdown late, something like that.
I'm trying to think,
close throughout.
Has there been a division round game with the Chiefs that hasn't been close? The Colts, Mahomes' first playoff game wasn't really close against the Colts in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
The Jaguars was close because Mahomes got hurt. There's a tweet that I found, but it's just Mahomes stats.
Was the Dolphins game last year even close?
That was a wild card.
Oh, okay. You're talking
divisional.
Okay.
The Dolphins, that was the blowout. The wild card games are usually blowouts when we play in that, but Mahomes' division round games when he does not get injured, his stats are the games aren't close. The games are a lot farther apart than the Browns and the Jaguars when he did get hurt.
Browns and Jags. Okay, yeah.
Well, he got hurt, and that's what I'm saying. Those were close games.
I think Kansas City's going to win this game. 8.5 might be a little bit much. I think Houston probably picked up a little bit of momentum in that win over the Chargers, and so I think this game will be close to 8.5. But give me Kansas City still to win.
Not to mention Jalen Watson coming back is massive for this team, especially with a team that is so depleted at wide receiver.
Yes, supposedly.
It's looking like everything's pointing to him playing on Saturday.
Now that would be big for a secondary that has certainly struggled and has been kind of just mixing and matching guys to try and make it work. But all right, let's quickly pick some other games before we get to break. Leighton Cure is here, and so he'll be joining us in just a matter of moments. But you got other games Saturday. You got Detroit at Washington. Do you think this is going to be the biggest blowout of the playoff? If there was a game to be a blowout,
no.
You think it'll be?
Well, if there was,
right? Not saying there will be, but if there was,
I guess.
this one has the potential for the most blowout.
I guess. I mean, I'd still maybe. Yeah, I guess. I guess you could say that, but I don't think that's going to happen. And I'm not Nick Athen. I don't think the Commanders are the best team in football, and they're going to go all the way to the Super Bowl. But, but I do see. I mean, Jalen Daniels has shown that he's ready for the moment. And this is a Lions defense that is, still
injury
banged up.
Injury riddled.
Still banged up, and I don't know if they're going to be able to stop this Commanders offense. But the Lions feel like they're so hungry. They're such a hungry football team. They know what this means to the city. They know what this means to everyone around the Lions, and it's hard for me to imagine a world they don't win this game.
That's the thing. You bring up a point, though. They know how much it means to the city. They know what it all, and they understand all that, so on and so forth. There's that pressure. Whereas Washington, there was nothing expected out of this year, and they're just going to go out there and play. They've already won. They've done more this year than they even thought. They've gone from a 4-win team, flipped the record around to win 13 games, and now you're going to Detroit. I think if this, once again, neutral site game, I don't know. Going to Detroit, I think, is going to be very hard. That crowd is going to be absolutely juiced. They're going to fuel the Lions, no matter if they're injured up or not. And I think Detroit's going to get it done. And I bet Detroit probably wins by 10. So I think they barely cover their 9.5 points.
I could see it. I could definitely see it. But I really want, there's some very uncomfortable conversations to be had if Jaden Daniels win this, if he wins this game.
For who? For Detroit?
No, for him. Like, as far as how good this guy is.
Oh, the pressure put on him.
Well, it's not even put. You're
saying it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, for people that you're like, all right, this guy might be actually a top 5 quarter. I mean, this guy was unbelievable if he gets this done this weekend.
Yeah, maybe so. I do expect we're going to see some points scored in that game, though. 55.5 is the over. It's the most over-under, and I would assume we're going to see some points in that. I picked these Sunday games real quickly. LA at Philadelphia. I've got Philly, and I've got them covering the 6.5.
They got to play better, though.
The Rams defense played amazing against Darnold. I get that. There's just that offensive line for Philadelphia is way better than what they played in Minnesota. They're going to block up. They're going to protect Hurts. They're going to run the football. Philadelphia's got a lot of talent. They're going to win this game. They're going to cover 6.5.
I disagree. I do disagree. I think the Rams have a good chance to win this game, and it's because if Matthew Stafford, like I've said all year long, when Matthew Stafford has his surrounding cast healthy, and when that offensive line protects him just a little bit longer than what we were seeing at the beginning of the year, this team can go to the Super Bowl. The talent is there. Matthew Stafford is still there, and I think if the Eagles want to win this game, they have to play better football than what they played against the Packers. They have to. It's that plain and simple, because I don't think they're going to get 3 turnovers, and it's just I don't see that happening. So I would need to see Jalen Hurts play better football for me to be confident in them to win this game. But the Rams have that chip on their shoulder too, with everything going on in LA, and they're also playing with some fire. So I'm really intrigued in this game. But as far as my pick, I have the Rams upsetting the Eagles in this game.
Yeah, I've got Philadelphia. I like Philly, and then the game of the weekend. Baltimore at Buffalo. 1-point favorite Baltimore on the road in Buffalo. What's the weather going to be like? That's intriguing to me. What are your thoughts on this game?
Well, I think my thoughts on this game are whoever can somehow stop the run is going to win this game. I mean, the Bills ran all over the Broncos. If you can get each of these teams, if you can get mostly the Ravens, though, if you can get them to a 3rd and 10, 3rd and 8, anything 3rd and 7 and above, they are a beatable football team, and I will stand by that. The Bills, a lot harder. I feel like I trust Josh Allen in those 3rd and long plays more than Lamar. I have the Bills winning this game. If it was in Baltimore, maybe it's different. But look, I think I don't see Lamar Jackson performing to the level we saw last week in this on the road against the Bills, against a defense that's been here before. I have the Bills, and I really am confident the Bills are going to win this game.
I understand that it was back in week 4, but these two teams met.
And the Ravens destroyed them.
35-10. It was in Baltimore. I get that. That's still a big gap. 25 points is a big gap to make up. Josh Allen is going to run the ball a lot. It's the playoffs. He's going to become Superman and put his cape on and go run the football a lot. I have no doubt in that. I just think the addition of Derrick Henry as a hammer and then the nice elusiveness and speed of Lamar Jackson is too much for this Buffalo defense to probably contained for the whole game. And so I'm taking Baltimore to win this game. I'm guessing it's going to be by about 3 to 6 points. Baltimore with the win.
So how do you see that game ending? Do you see a world? Here's my question. Down by 6, who would you rather have? Which quarterback, which offense would you rather have with 2 minutes to go?
Oh, down by 6 with 2 minutes, I probably want Josh Allen because we're going to throw the ball a little bit better.
Do you see a world where Josh Allen has the ball with 2 minutes down by 6 where they don't score 7?
Yeah, I could see that happening. I could.
I just don't see that happening.
I could see
I
that.
don't. I just think that
Baltimore's defense
in the clutch, I am picking Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson every single day of the week.
Fine. I am not basing this just off quarterback play, though.
Yeah, fair.
I'm looking at team totality. Baltimore is a better football team. Yes, Josh Allen might be the more big-time play quarterback. But as a team, I'm looking at Baltimore. A better total defense, a better total offense. Justin Tucker's been iffy this year. That's got me a little concerned. But I don't know. I'm just going to – I get why it's a close game, so just give me Baltimore by 3. That's all I'm going to say.
All right.
Baltimore by 3. Okay, there you go. Picks on the weekend for the NFL division round. That all kicks off once again, 3:30 Central, 2:30 Mountain Time. You can listen to the Chiefs game versus the Texans on 100 Point Through the Ride, or it'll be viewed on ESPN. All right, we got to get to break. Leighton Kear's been waiting patiently. He'll join us next here in the Morning Blitz.
At FNB Bank, we understand the backbone of our community is our local farmers and ranchers. Whether you're growing crops, raising livestock, or investing in new equipment, we're here to help you succeed. Our agricultural loans are tailored to meet the unique needs of your farm, with flexible terms from people who understand what it takes to make it in agriculture. When you partner with FNB Bank, you're working with neighbors who know the land and are invested in your success. FNB Bank, rooted in our community, growing with you. Member FDIC.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning, this is Kate Thompson with the Anderson Trade Group. Today is Friday, January 17th. On the event last night, March corn higher 2.5, 477. May up 2 cents at 485. July up 2 at 488. September corn unchanged at 455. December of 2025 down a quarter cent at 452.5. March soybeans up 10.5 on the overnight to 1029.5. May up 8 at 1039.5. July up 7.25 at 1050.25. August up 5 3/4 at 1044. September beans up 4 cents at 1024. Chicago wheat, the March contract lower 2 1/4 at 535.25. May down 1 3/4 at 547.75. July down 1 3/4 at 557.75. September down 2 cents at 571.25. December soft wheat down 2 cents at 590.75. Kansas City wheat, the March contract lower half cent at 547.75. May down 3/4 at 557.75. July down a quarter cent at 567.25. December hard wheat down a half cent at 596.5. On the stock market this morning, the Dow up $228 at 43,600. The S&P up 39 at 6,014. The Nasdaq up 260 at 21,509. Gold lower $14 an ounce at 2,736. Crude oil down 22 cents a barrel at 78.46. If you have any questions about marketing grain and would like to talk about risk management options, give our Colorado office a call, John Hanke or John Stiles at 970-744-4484, or in our Kansas City office, myself, Tom Pluto, Jared Law, or Tyler Ghosh at 913-748-3000.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
Help maximize your yield potential and savings with 0% financing on leading fungicides from BASF. You can't beat 0%, especially when you could save big on consistent performing fungicides like Revitec fungicide and Veltima fungicide until March 15, 2025. 0% financing means keeping more in your wallet for better ROI. Talk to your BASF retailer today about the Grower Finance Program. Subject to credit approval, terms and conditions. See BASF Grower Finance Program for details. Always read and follow label directions.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, and cleaner American fuel. This message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
This is Allie Diggs, a senior, and Kaylee Glover, a junior, at Goodland Junior Senior High School. Please join the Black and Gold Booster Club in thanking a few of our corporate sponsors: Cure Land and Cattle, Brent Lennon, Franz Ag, MacArthur Audiology, JP Fisher Enterprises, Mossberger Family Farms, Land to Legacy Real Estate, and Linton Financial. Thank you for your continued support of our academics, activities, and athletics.
New year, new projects, and new deals at Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware. Start 2025 with a bang by tackling those home improvements. Refresh your space with vibrant Benjamin Moore paint or stock up on storage totes and shelves, perfect for organizing. Lumber prices are down, making it easier to tackle your next big project. Keep warm while you grill year-round with their top-notch grills and smokers from Traeger and Weber. And don't let the snow slow you down. Check out the great selection of snowblowers from Ego and Toro. It's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Goodland and Colby, your partner for a productive new year.
No one rambles on better than Ross Volkmer.
All you do is talk on
the Morning Blitz.
We're back here on the Morning Blitz. Glad you're with us. 8:41 Central, 7:41 Mountain Time on Friday, January the 17th. 34 degrees, our way to a high of 48 before we drop down, pretty much cut that temperature in half, down into the 20s here for the weekend. Our guest in studio, Kansas Jayhawk tight end, former Goodland Cowboy, former Fort Hays State. I almost said Fort Hays Tech Northwest. We don't have a football team. But Fort Hays State football player Leighton Cure joins the studio. Good morning. How are we doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good. Thank
Great,
you for having me.
Great
on.
to have you here in studio. I'm so glad that you remembered because I kind of caught you in the middle of a workout, and I thought last night, do I have his phone number? I don't think I do. So I hope he remembers. And we've had an interesting week with guests because we had some phone issues with our guests the last 2 days, and so I'm like, well, we get 3 straight days without a guest. So this would be rude. So. All right, you said you're not quite ready to head back yet, but you're working your way there, at least packing up wise, right?
Yes, sir. Got most of my packing done. A couple other things in my closet I still got to pack up, but pretty close. So I kind of am an organized person, so it makes it pretty easy. I don't let when I open up my suitcase, I kind of put it in all drawers and stuff like that, and don't just let it explode all over my room when I'm back.
Oh, you and me are cut from the same cloth. Yes, we keep things pretty darn organized. Talk to us about this first year. What was it like, the transition from Division II football at Fort Hays State to going and playing at KU? What was that transition like? Was it more challenging, maybe not as challenging as you thought? How would you describe that transition from D2 to the Division I level?
I would say I absolutely loved every part of it. The spring transfer portal was definitely a roller coaster. It was the first time they ever ran the spring transfer portal, and as soon as I hopped in, it was kind of hectic, kind of trying to talk to coaches and schedule visits because I wanted to be on campus in the summer. So that kind of made it hard when I'm trying to deal with finals and trying to finish up school at Fort Hays, but also be able to get out and go check out places where I want to go. But I thought that I transitioned pretty smoothly at KU just because the strength and conditioning staff, the coaching staff made it really easy. And I've really loved everything at KU since. I'd say the biggest difference, which is pretty obvious, is the amount of resources that you get at the Division I level compared to the Division II. The training table, they're always feeding us. I think we do a lot of different stuff weight wise. You got a big training room that's open. It feels like 24/7. I know it's probably not 24/7, but it seems like they're all
feel like it.
Yeah, it seems like every time I walk in the facility, they're always open. But the transition was pretty smooth. Even from the Division I level, coming from the Division II, there's still like a speed of the game that's a little bit different, and definitely the trenches. Everybody says the difference between Division I and Division II is kind of the trenches up front, and that's definitely something I also noticed, as well as I was about as tall as most of the guys on my Fort Hays team, whereas I got to KU and we got some 6'8" guys, some 6'7" guys playing the offensive line. They're pushing. They won't let those guys get lower than 320. So it's that's one of the differences as well, is a lot bigger dudes up there.
Absolutely. Leighton Cure joining us here in studio. You mentioned how in the portal, did you have other teams calling you, wanting you to come play, or was Kansas kind of always that team that you were going to go to? What was that decision like, and how did you go about coming to that decision?
Yeah, there were definitely some other teams out there that were contacting me just through my Fort Hays coaches. We ended off on good terms, so they were willing to share my film with some of the coaches they knew. And then also having a 5-star brother also makes it kind of easy to get your name out there.
Wait, this is Lincoln's older brother? Can he play? Can he play ball?
Yeah.
Did you get him an extra big Christmas gift for that?
He helped me a lot because, yeah, I'd never dealt, even in my recruiting process, my years, I hadn't dealt with as much coaches as he had dealt with when he went through the process. But yeah, it was pretty smooth. Yeah, I think there were some other schools, like I ended up going to Texas A&M. There was nothing scholarship wise there, just a preferred walk-on package. But it was definitely cool going down to Texas A&M and seeing the all the money they got down there. It's crazy, the SEC money. But yeah, I just felt like KU was the spot for me, and that's kind of how it was when I got into the portal and I started. They were Coach Grimes, who's now at Wisconsin now. He was probably the first person to call me once I got in the portal, and I just really loved everything he had to say about the program. I love what Coach Leipold had building there before I'd committed, and thinking back on it, I hadn't even been on a visit to Kansas. Like, I'd never been on campus there ever in my life, and I committed there before I'd gone on a visit. But I'm so happy I did, because I'm loving it there.
Tell me about, speaking of Lincoln, tell me how cool it's been to see him develop and him making his decision to go to K-State.
It's been awesome. It's more of an excitement than a jealousy. Some people may think that I'm a little bit jealous of what he's getting, but I can't be more excited for him. And yeah, he's given me pointers on the way. I've given him pointers as well of kind of what to expect now that he's getting close to having to report after this next semester. And yeah, it's just been a really fun ride. I never would have expected my little brother was going to be the number one tight end in the 2025 recruiting class, but it's just the way things work. And I'm really excited. I think a lot of people will be excited for the Sunflower Showdown next year coming from Western Kansas. It'll be a fun game, and I'm hoping that we both line up against each other on one of the special teams units, because since we both play offense, we won't be able to line up there. But I think it'd be pretty funny if we lined up against each other on a special teams unit. I'll be like, hey, I know this guy right here.
I'll take bets on who's going to win that battle. I'm taking bets on that one. We'll talk about that after. I heard a good story about basketball this week. So anyway, Leighton Cure joins us in studio, Kansas football tight end, former Goodland Cowboy. You talked about Coach Leipold. From afar, he just seems like a fantastic guy and a great football coach. I mean, he's won everywhere he's been. And what is your situation? What do you think of Coach Leipold and the coaches that you are now, with Coach Grimes leaving, the coaches you're now working with, did you get set for year two?
I absolutely love my coaches. Coach Leipold, he's one of the nicest guys in the world. It may not look like that on TV when he is kind of yelling at everybody and stuff like that, but he's one of those coaches that is going to fight for you, and I really appreciate that. Whether it's somebody got a penalty called on them and he doesn't believe that's right, he's always going to be there and be fighting in our corner. I've had some really good talks with him about football and just about life, and yeah, he's really a player's coach, and he's going to do whatever it takes to get Kansas to the next level. With Coach Grimes leaving, I've mostly been talking. It kind of started out with me just talking to Coach Zabrowski, and he's one of my favorite people in the world too. He had came out here a couple times to visit Lincoln, and came to Hayes to visit me, and he kind of reminds me of somebody on my mother's side, the way that he talks and everything like that. So he seems like somebody I've known for a long time, and the amount of football knowledge that he has is just immense. And with us being able to get Coach Lubick back from Nevada, he'll be coaching the tight ends this year, and also be the co-offensive coordinator. He was one of the people that kind of was there with Kotelnicki when he was an offensive analyst, and he kind of helped with all the motions and shifts in the offense. So he's definitely very smart. He already knows the offense, and I'm excited to get back there and I've only talked with him over phone, but I'm definitely excited to get back there and meet him in person and get to know him a little bit better.
Obviously this season, started off a little rough, and then you guys found it towards the end of the year. Take me through, how the locker room was throughout this season and how to build on that going into next year.
I'd say it got pretty we had high expectations over this summer for what we wanted to do. And I know a lot of people had high expectations for us, and just going out there and losing those close games wasn't very fun, but it's kind of the nature of Big 12 football, at least, is that the margin of victory is just so small in this league. You could see it with Arizona State being they were preseason 16 and they were able to win the whole thing, but you look back at some of those games, they're just squeaking by teams, and really it's in the Big 12, it's anybody's game. And I'd kind of say about our locker room, I attest to our locker room never broke. That was one of the good things about us. There was never any pointing fingers towards anybody, whether it was coaches or other players for losses. And we kind of stuck our heads down and say, hey, we need to turn this around. We got to do something about this. And the standard never wavered. Nobody ever got tired of putting in the work. We knew what we had to do. And I was so happy that we were able to turn it around for a couple weeks during the season and get some ranked wins. That was probably our best stretch of the year. A lot of fun. I think it brings a lot of excitement into this next year with the people that we were able to retain back. Really wish we would have won that last game in Waco, but I think if they were a ranked team, we might have won them. Just that was we kind of had the ranked team's numbers, but yeah, I think there's a lot of excitement going in to next season with the people we have back and the transfers that we brought in. But we'll definitely have to find ourselves over this winter off season and the summer to kind of see what type of team we are. Because I've been telling people I'm excited to go back because there's going to be 40 different faces in the team meeting room when I get there that I got to get to know. And yeah, it's just going to be like a completely different team now.
I've got one more. Just, tell me about playing at Arrowhead as well as Children Mercy, and then how excited you are to play in the new stadium here eventually.
I think a lot of guys on the team said one of our downfalls of the year is that we didn't get to play in the booth, and we're able to pack the booth this year. But I didn't think it was too bad for a trade-off to get to play at Arrowhead and Children's Mercy Park. And yeah, in my head, I was thinking I got chose to wear the number 87. I'm like, that's not a bad number to be wearing in Arrowhead.
Definitely.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Definitely not fun having to travel to home games. But the atmospheres were awesome. The first couple games at Children's Mercy Park were really cool. We were able to pack that place out, and those MLS soccer stadiums, they're kind of built for that sound. So it felt like there was more than 20,000 people there. And then Arrowhead was awesome. Just being able to play on a NFL field, even growing up a Broncos fan, it was still really cool to play at Arrowhead. So yeah, that was an awesome experience, being able to be in the locker rooms that the Chiefs use and play on their field, and definitely get some wins there.
Just a couple more minutes with Leighton Cure here joining us on the Morning Blitz. Favorite road game you went to this year? Because being a college football fan and seeing to go all these cool different places would be neat. So favorite road game? Or favorite atmosphere? Maybe you didn't win, but maybe it was an atmosphere.
I'd probably narrow it down to two. Just BYU. Really cool environment.
Yep.
Really weird environment, because when I walked in there, everybody was fist bumping me and stuff like that. The BYU fans are like, hey, welcome to BYU. It's definitely a different area. They're so nice out there, but yeah, they get pretty rowdy for their team. And then also the Sunflower Showdown, growing up a K-State fan. And that was kind of what I wanted to do, is go play for the Wildcats. And that was just a really surreal moment for me when I kind of lined up out there on that field and during warmups. And the first kickoff and everything like that. That was just a surreal moment for me because I kind of dreamed of playing on that field, and never in 1,000 years did I think I'd be on the other side of it. But yeah, that was an awesome atmosphere.
A couple more quick ones here for you. So you got 1 more year or 2 more years left?
2 more years.
2 more years you have left. What are your expectations for yourself going into the second year, as now a full year under your belt playing at this level?
I've got some pretty high expectations for myself. I thought that when I came in, I was going to try and compete for some more time. But there were some really good guys like Jared Casey and Trevor Cardell. They had kind of been in that offense for 4 years. And I didn't realize what I was getting myself into when I had gone in and looked at that offense. It's kind of an NFL style offense that I was used to getting the signals over on the sideline rather than they do it huddle wise. And it's a whole sentence. So that took some time getting used to. And there was some mental errors that I was always making. So that probably decreased my time on the field when I'd done those in practice. Just being able to have that year of the offense under my belt now will make it a lot easier and make it a lot more familiar. So I think there'll definitely be a lot of competition in the tight end room. We're bringing back Deshaun Hanukkah. He's a good friend of mine, and he's coming off a season-ending injury that he had last spring, but he's ready to play. We bring in some transfers, and then we got some young guys that are coming and wanting to competition in the room, but I'm definitely not going to shy away from that. And I'd kind of like to follow in the footsteps of the guys in front of me, the Mason Fairchilds and the Jared Casey's of the world. Jared just got first team all Big 12. I just think that would be a really cool individual accomplishment to be an all Big 12 athlete. And then team wise, I think we want to go out there and win the Big 12. It's kind of what we shot our expectations really high last year with the national championship. And we kind of need to bring it down a little bit to just week by week going 1-0. That's kind of what we just need to focus on. And that's kind of what we focused on the back end of the season, is just every week just going 1-0. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about this year.
Leighton, we appreciate you taking some time and joining us on today. Safe travels back, and good luck with next year. And we'll probably see you this summer. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Once again, Leighton Cura, great stuff there. Kansas football tight end, former Goodland Cowboy. We'll take a break, come back, wrap the show with our final segment next.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you bought that TV in a parking lot. It just happened to not come in a box or include a remote. And when you finally managed to turn it on, all it displayed was the menu of Grumpy's Tacos. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Your livelihood is important to you. You work hard to succeed in your farming operation, crop, livestock, home, vehicles, and special needs. We have you covered. Discounts are available for new business, remodeling, hail-resistive roofing, multi-policy, and many more. Optional coverage endorsements as well for machinery, ingestion, and equipment breakdown. Umbrella coverage for additional coverage on your home, farm, and auto. See the girls at the insurance agency at 1020 Main in Goodland, or call 785-899-5011.
It's the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
Hey, everyone! Come and see how good I look!
Your daily dose of sports.
All right, we're wrapping up a show here on a Friday. Thanks again to Leighton Cura for joining us. Always great to have a good conversation with him and talk about his future and all the success that he's having at the next level of collegiate football. We do need to get to some local sports before we get to the walk-off today. So real quickly, a great slate of high school basketball games. You've got St. Francis going to Dighton, Hoxie and Decatur Community squaring off, Wallace County hosting Quinter. Oakley will take on Trigo, Rollins County versus Greeley County, Tri-Plains Brewsters at Golden Plain, Shiloh at Western Plains. Colby hosts Scott City, and Goodland will play host to Cimarron. If Goodland goes out and plays to their capabilities, boys-wise, should be able to pick up a win over Cimarron. Girls, interesting game. Cimarron's a very a good basketball team that just has come up short in a lot of it, unfortunately. I think they've lost the last couple of games by less than 10 points. They've been right there in a lot of games, just have not gotten the wins.
They made it close against Colby.
That girls game will be a challenge. It'll be a challenge tonight.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm interested to see Colby versus Scott City. Colby obviously coming off of the tough loss against Goodland. So the boys are going to be hungry to get back in the win column, winning 3 straight before that game. But Scott City is a good basketball team from everything I understand. Ross, I know you know a little more about them, but I'm excited to see.
The girls play hard, and when they knock down their threes, they're a difficult team to beat. So that's intriguing there. Boys-wise, they have, next to Lincoln Cure, one of the best athletes in all of Western Kansas and Jackson Rumford. And he's a dude, and he's got some shooters on the outside that can really can help create space for him inside. It'll be a great challenge and a really good game between Colby and Scott City tonight on 100 Points to the Ride. That'll be a good one. Also this weekend begins the Mid-Continent League Tournament. With play-in games, Oakley's going to take on Smith Center in the 8-9 matchup. That is on Saturday. And then we have lots of wrestling this weekend. And we got tonight, you've got Hoxie at Scott City for a duel. Oakley boys and girls hosting Plainville for a double duel. There is girls wrestling in Hayes with the tournament. Scott City is going to host a lot of area teams for a boys tournament. Then you got Colby going to Gothenburg, Nebraska, home of the Swedes. Love that nickname. And then Decatur Community will be in Hayes as well, wrestling. Forney's Tech Northwest women also wrestling for the first time in the new year. They're at the York Open. All right, let's get to the walk-off.
And back lifts his ball high and deep to right. How about a walk-off Brady? Thomas to the 10. Difference going on in New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes flings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
Boy, sad news yesterday in the baseball world. The great, the legendary Bob Uecker passed away at the age of 90. I don't think I don't think he died of like any sort of illness or anything, right? And he was 90 years old. Correct me if I'm wrong on that,
I believe so. I believe you're right about that.
Think about it. He was broadcasting games healthy as a horse this last summer.
Yeah.
Old Bob Uecker. Sad day. Gosh.
Absolute legend. And he was someone that had such a close relationship with all the Brewers players and really everyone in the league. So yeah, it was sad news coming out of the MLB for him to pass.
Honestly, if you're a broadcaster and you don't know who Bob Uecker was, I'm sorry, I can't really help you, especially sports broadcaster.
Definitely.
I said on X yesterday, I said, I'm honestly, if I'm being completely honest, probably one of the reasons I'm in this business is because of him, because of watching him in Major League and how much he made me laugh.
Brian said he was fighting lung cancer since 2013.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So,
well, geez, he did a good job fighting that.
He did. Definitely did.
Never would have known.
And then other good news this time out of the MLB, Jack Caglione for the Royals, top prospect, named the #1 first baseman prospect in baseball. So as he continues, and he has a big league spring training camp invite as well. So good news from the Royals camp.
Is he going to play? Is he going to pitch at all? Or they completely said we're going to just put you at first?
I mean, he's going to play. He's going to play either first or corner outfield. I don't see him pitching. They said that he would try it, but
Sasquatch out there.
Well, that's why I think they're going to move him to corner outfield. Have
Okay.
Sasquatch at first. Eventually, we'll see.
I love Jack Caglione. He's a dude.
I
didn't like him when he beat my Huskers, but you know what? He's really, really good. So I'm fine with that. All right, that'll do it for our show. For Max, I'm Ross. Catch your basketball tonight on 100.3 The Ride and Rocket 102.5. And, of course, Chiefs on 100.3 The Ride on Saturday, KUK State on Saturday. It's a loaded weekend. And we'll be back on Monday.
Go Chiefs.
We'll be back